I didn't grow up in a church. We didn't go to church. Sundays were, for my family, was either recuperating from the night before, picking up the mess. At the level of, I had friends, but I just never really fit in. And I was, here I am, just a struggling adolescent boy, just trying to make my way in a life in a world that I knew nothing about. So alcohol and drugs became really a part of my life from a very young age. In 1991, I decided I would go in the military. It was probably the best bet for me. I wasn't going to make it in school. As in the military, if anybody's ever been in the military, it's a big part of your life. You got all this money that you've saved up and you're ready to get out and hit the town. And my drinking, when I would drink, I would get in so many problems. I was having so many problems with it. And it never occurred to me that there was a way that I could seek help. In 95, I got out of the Navy. I got my first DWI in 1997. I had ran so many together that they ended up running up concurrent. I can remember I walked into the courtroom one day and Cheryl Hardy, who was the judge that day, had stopped me halfway in and said, "Stop, what are you doing here today, Mr. Allred?" And I said, "I'm here, I've got another DWI, I'm on the docket." In 2000, I finally caught enough that they said, "Look, we're going to send you down to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice." I was sentenced to 2 years TDCJ. Remember, I called my mother that night. I said, "Hey, I want you to give me a Bible. I want you to send it to me." But she got me that Bible, and I just started digging into it. I started from Genesis and read all the way to Revelations. I just knew what I was doing. I was searching. I was just looking. I was tired of being sick and tired. And I went to a sober living house in Denton. In the Bible, we talk about works without faith is dead. Well, faith without works is dead too. I was so focused on the work that I failed to realize that had I turned my will and my life over to the care of God, that it was His responsibility to do that. I left the sober living house after 14 months. I was back out living on the street. I wasn't going to go home. I wasn't going to go back to my sisters. I knew at that time, hey, I'm turning it all over to you. You take this whole thing. I'm done with it. I can't do it. Fast forward to 2016 or 17, and I knew that I had to work on my spiritual work. I knew I needed to work on my spiritual part of my program. It was lacking, to where I actually introduced my wife that I'm married to today. She had mentioned Fellowship of the Parks, and she said she came here and she remembered Doug. And Doug was is always so welcoming to her, remembered her kid's name. During that week, I met Sean. And I said, "You go to church?" And he said, "Yeah, I go to church." I said, "Where you go?" And he said, "I go to Fellowship of the Parks." So I remember I went home that day and I said, "Hey, let's go to Fellowship of the Parks this Sunday." I felt like the home that I came from that was broken, that this home was so welcoming. I felt love. I felt acceptance, although nobody knew my story. I think that was the acceptance I've been looking for so long. In this type of setting. This is what we call home. This is our church. This is our church family. And we'll continue to come here. And we just love being a part of it.